you're well aware that we're here to announce fight on December the 4th. It will be on a Wednesday at the Armory. A 12-round fight between Roy Jones Jr. and Bobby Gunn. I want to tell you how this fight got put together and why it is happening. Roughly about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, I received a call from Bobby Gunn. I've been involved with Bobby at times in some of his fights. I've always said this is a fighter that has just never risen to the lengths and the achievements that I thought he was capable of, as many other people thought. He can fight. He's had some great fights. And the conversation went like this. He said, Don, I'm looking for one more fight. I want to get a half-decent payday, and I want to call it quits. He said, what do you think? Who should I fight? And I would like to do it either in New Jersey or Philadelphia, which he said is the fight, to him, the fight capital of the world, Philadelphia. I just said, you and Roy Jones, quote, oh my God, get me Roy Jones because I can knock him out. Quote, unquote. I picked up the phone. I got a hold of Roy, and we've been in negotiations for a bit of a time. The fight is made, and it's Roy Jones Jr. and Bobby Gunn for the WBU Cruiserweight Championship. 12 rounds at the Armory. I'm going to make this very short. This is not going to be a long-winded press conference, but I do want to, a couple of things. I'm very thrilled here to have ex-Commissioner Jimmy Binns. This is just one of the class guys, a great commissioner. Thank boy, he is one hell of a man. Also on the card, Blake Raditz will be fighting in a 4-rounder. He's had one fight. He fought on the Playboy Mansion about a year ago, and incredibly, it was the fight of the night. And he got an extra $1,000 bonus, which he doesn't know about yet, but no, he got an extra bonus. It was just an incredible 4-round war. He's going to be on the card. He's got an unusual quick story. His father is Dr. Brian Raditz, a very well-known doctor who had 2 pro fights undefeated. And Blake said, look, I want to take a shot at him. He's a hell of a football player, hell of a golfer, hell of an athlete, and he puts on one great fight. And his family has already taken 150 ringside seats. Keep going. Don't stop. Okay? Blake, just raise your hand so they... this fight really turns me on. All right? It's just a thrilling, going to be a thrilling night. And this is a fighter that was the IBA,
other titles,
Cruiserweight champion. He is, the most amazing thing about him, he is actually a legitimate, recognized bare knuckle champion. All right, whether you know it or not, bare knuckle boxing is allowed in certain areas, and he is the first recognized bare knuckle champion since, believe it or not, John L. Sullivan. So that's a great.
Thank God I'm not fighting Sullivan. You know?
No, but again, he is well known and undefeated in the bare knuckle competition, which he says he's going to continue doing. But again, he wanted this one last fight, and against the guy, he said, I can knock him out. The challenger, Bobby Gunn. Bobby.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody coming out today. You know, my life's been quite a journey. You know, it's been quite a few hurdles I had to overcome. There's been a lot of skeptics and critics I overcome it all. I hold on my tongue, and I kept praying to God. And I asked God to give me one last shot. Every dog has his day. And you know something, in boxing, people could be critics, say this fight don't mean nothing, that fight don't mean nothing, but if you're a real historian, it's the fights that mean something, it's the fights that nobody put a lot of weight in going in. Them are the fights that stood out. And anything can happen in the fight game. The fight can be turned around in one punch. Styles makes fights. Fighting this man, Roy Jones Jr., I mean, he's like Michael Jordan of basketball. I mean, the man, you can't, if you're a critic to this man, you're just being full of hate and rotten. And that's the truth. This man has done things that nobody can do. I mean, he's knocked people out with his hands behind his back. I mean, he's done things that it's like Matrix, the movie that he was in. But fighting him and training for him is like a light switch on in my life. It took me to another level. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've never seen a fighter like him in my life do the things he does out of the ring too. A lot of people don't know this, how the heart of God he's got. He does so much. He's a nice man, given his opportunity. He's got a great team. I want to thank everybody behind the scenes right now that made this fight happen. You know, I trained hard for this fight. This will be my last professional fight. If I win this fight, that's it. If I lose, I'm in. But I'm going to tell you something today. I'm not taking nothing away. I'm coming to fight. And I'm coming to blame my heart out. I ain't taking, there's no man born of a mother that I'll take a back step to. And if somebody's going to say something to me, say it to my face in the parking lot. That's the kind of man I am. I don't sit and miscall people, talk about people. I don't take no quarter, nor do I give a quarter. I come here to fight. I'm laying my heart out. And I do believe, all my heart, I'm going to win this fight. It's like, remember the movie Braveheart? They're going out to battle, and the big fella looked at William Wallace and said, well, we didn't get dressed up for nothing. I'm not here for nothing. I'm here for a good reason. Believe me, I didn't drive in the rain here and be torturing my boy all the way over here, listening to his crazy music channels. I'm here for a reason. And I promise you, I'm going to make everybody proud. And I want to thank everybody behind this fight right now. Thank you, thank you. And thank you, Mr. Ward. Thank you, Roy Jones. I won't let nobody down. Again, anybody that doesn't look at this fight the right way, you're crazy. Look at the fights in Europe and Russia and them fights. No, no, no. Right here in the greatest city in boxing, one of them in the world, brotherly love, right here. This cruiserweight fight will not be forgotten. It's going to go down in 2013, and the critics will eat their words. I promise you that one, my pal. I wish you the best, and thank you, everybody, for coming out on a dirty day like this. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sir Jack, for coming up. Thank you.
Thanks, Bobby. I'd like to introduce the manager. Pete Testa, you've got no more than 5 minutes.
Don't have much to say. I've been working with Bobby for a little bit of time now. He trains hard, works hard.
My attorney.
Honored to work with really a legend in his own right, and obviously an opportunity to fight a legend of all time, quite frankly, is something to look forward to. So I've been a small part of this. I'm going to remain a small part of it and let all the action take place with these gentlemen and in the ring. Thank you.
Thank you. The gentleman I'm going to introduce now is, without question, a future Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest fighters, I believe, of all time. Yes, he is. He's won championships. He's beaten Bernard Hopkins. That I love. Boy, that's fantastic. All right? I know they fought twice, but he's got a win over him, and that's just a fantastic thing. I've been in this game all my life, as many of you are aware. Roy has something that I think is one of the greatest honors that anyone could have, no matter what they do. It is something that I think every person dreams of, and Roy has done that. One of the greatest lines of boxing that was ever made was actually said by Harry Truman when he was President of the United States. He said, "I'd rather be heavyweight champion of the world than President of the United States." I'd like to introduce you, not to the ex-president, but the former heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones.
Thank you all. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. As you know, I love being in the city of brotherly love. I know how much they love boxing and how much boxing has meant to this city. I want to say thanks to everybody that participated. It's so good to see Mr. Jimmy Benz again. I haven't seen him in a long time. The good thing about it is when you see Jimmy Benz on the scene, you know a fight about to happen for real. You know, it's like when I seen Jimmy Benz, my heart just went to another level. I said, "Whoa, somebody about to fight," you know. So when you see Jimmy, you just to me, you just know it's on. I thrived my career off of being a man of my word. You know, people always talk about this, they talk about that, they talk about the champions and the champions who do this and don't do that. Well, I always said if a guy offered to fight me or asked to fight me and I was capable and I could, I don't turn down nothing. I don't hard to. One of my colleagues up now because I don't hard to turn that down. So when he said he wanted to fight Roy Jones Jr. and that was going to be his last fight, that's big to me. And I know that being a gypsy, being a bare knuckle champion, this guy has a heart that's like no other. So when you see these type of fighters, are the type of fighters that make legendary nights. These are the guys that the fights are made of. These are the guys that make the real fights, the fights that I wouldn't provide on my own because I ain't gonna stand there and go all day with you like that. But they do. So at any time, these guys can end the fight. They dangerous the whole night long. But if I'm gonna continue to fight, I don't want to fight nobody that's not gonna be a challenge because I don't have a reason to get up. So when he said he wanted to fight, I stopped, went back and looked at him. Bare knuckle champ. I said, You know, I raised game chickens a lot of my life, and I know what it means to be game. This dude is game, and I know this. So when you see a guy that's game, you got to know that means from round 1 to round 12, he going to believe he can win. I don't care how much you beat on him. He's still going to be there trying to land that one punch to get you out. That's what I live for. That's what I love. My job is to see how many I can put on him before he ever try to get to throw that punch, and make sure he don't get there to throw that punch. So this is as intriguing for me as it is for him. The second thing is, when I do go to England, because I love things like the bare knuckle fighting and the roosters, the Egyptians always treat me really good. So they always were great fans of mine. They always show me the best of love. So how can I not show them the love in return and fight one of their own kind in this last fight? So for me, I have people say, why you keep going? Because I love it. I love to fight. And you know, I said, you know, jokingly, I do need a tune-up before I fight Anderson Silva. If I fight Anderson Silva, if he wins his fight. But I don't look at nothing as a tune-up because I know everybody's out there to knock you out. Like he said, he said, Roy Jones Jr., oh, I can knock him out. So that lets you know what his mind was at right away. So my job is to make sure that does not happen. And I'm here to tell y'all right now, I'm just like he is. I don't have much to talk about. I don't bother nobody. I don't expect nobody to bother me. I'm the type of guy that, like you said, if you got something to say to me, I'll see you in the parking lot. So I guess December 4th, I'll see him in the parking lot.
The person to Roy's right is his attorney, John Ward. We have something in common. We both engaged with Don King for way too long. I'd like to introduce John Ward.
Thank you. I'll just be real quick. It's a real pleasure to work with Don Albaum, who's one of the legends in boxing as a promoter, matchmaker, and so we're really pleased to have been able to reach a deal. This fight is one that I know this kid over here is coming to fight. I'm not without any delusion, and I know Roy wants this fight, and so I know Roy has been training, and so I know that come December 4th there's going to be a real fight that you guys should come out and see. It is going to be, Roy doesn't have very many fights left, so you're going to see history on December 4th, and I would encourage everybody here in Philly and around on the East Coast to come down and buy tickets for this fight. It's going to be a great night. And again, it's really a pleasure to work with you guys, and we're real excited to be part of it. So thank you very much.
I would just like to say something to all my family, friends, and all the world and fans. As sure as the sun rises tomorrow, I promise you, this fight is not going to be forgotten. And come out and see it. You're not going to forget it. And that's a fact what I'm telling you. I'll eat my words if I have to. I don't want to because I have a little bit of pride. Come out, boys. You'll have a good time.
I'm here to tell you that he ain't gonna eat his word because he says it like it is. It's gonna be one to be remembered. Because as a 44-year-old, ain't none could do it like I do.
I'm not getting mad now.
One more thing. Many of you are aware, you may not all be aware of Gennaro Pellegrini, a boxer whose dream was, before he went to Iraq, to have one fight at the Blue Horizon, which he did. It was out of a Rocky movie. It was out of a movie setting. He was on his way to getting knocked out, and with one punch, he scored one of the most incredible fights I've ever seen, ever, when he knocked his opponent out with one punch and come out with a win. He was a policeman. There were probably over 100, 200 police there that night. And there was 300 or 400 of the National Guard. Gennaro then went to Iraq. As I'm sure many of you are aware of the story, I got a letter from him while I was there thanking me for making his dream come true. And a week later, he got killed. I'm going to have a plaque, which Roy and I talked about. We're going to have a plaque which is going to be given to the Gennaro Pellegrini of the undercard, right? And there will be a plaque given to that in that man's honor, and someone that I don't want anyone to forget. Open for questions.
Donald, who's the actual promoter of the show? Is there any television?
There's going to be TV that's being worked on. There's going to be some pay-per-view. It's going to be shown in Europe. Roy Jones Jr.'s, their company is part of the promotion. The local promoter will let you know in a couple of days.
What is your association?
I'm the matchmaker. I'm what I always do, right? Same matchmaker and I talk, okay?
And he was trained by Don King, so you're right. Yeah, on it.
Well, he trained Don King.
He introduced Don. He was the evil man. He introduced Don King into boxing.
Okay, good.
Oh,
He started.
Yeah, he started it. It's his problem.
Biggest mistake. I've been apologizing to the world ever since. First call I got when he left. God damn you.
He wasn't actually engaged like you. He was just dating.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Questions? Yes.
Yeah, I have a question for Bobby. You're coming off of a fight with an.
I can't hear you.
I have a question for Bobby.
Yeah, well, okay.
Okay, you know you're
Just a little louder.
you're coming off of a fight with another legend, James Toney.
Yes.
You know, a little over a year and a half ago.
Yep.
You know, you hurt your hand in that fight, and you know it just wasn't your night. But you know what have you done since then? You know that makes you think you're going to be
I've had about
do
8
better
fights
this
since
time.
then. I'll never say. Here's the mysterious for me, the mystique. On paper, you think it's the perfect guy, but if you really knew what I have and the fights I have, you'd be amazed. And I'm never out of the gym. You know, I don't drink or smoke, don't do drugs. I'm a training hound. You know, I'm married to my little wife, Rose. I got my little girl, Charlene, my boy. That's my life. I live a very clean life, you know. And I'm never out of the gym. That's why I'm still able to do what I do. But as far as like saying on record layoffs, I never was really laid off, my brother.
Okay.
Bare knuckle fights in between, you know.
You said 8 of them you had.
You beat Bobby Gunn. Let's assume. Okay. And you fight Silver. Then what? I mean, then.
Well, then he has a return fight with Gunn.
Gun say that.
So it ain't my last.
As
Well,
they say, he's bringing a knife to a gun.
After that, there are a lot of other possibilities. I mean, Travis is going to heavyweight. I still don't like him. Tarver, Hopkins, we 1-1. I still don't like him. Floyd Mayweather claimed he's the best of all time. He's starting to piss me off. So there are a lot of options for me out there. I just don't know which way I may go yet.
Why don't you like Hopkins?
I just don't. I mean, I honestly, I do like him. I don't like him, but I do like him. He's very inspirational and encouraging to anybody. In the ring, the second fight, it just was more of a dirty type fight. I wanted a boxing match. I didn't want a prison fight. He wanted a prison fight. And that's not a pit of fatigue. That's not what we signed up for. So that's what I don't like about it. Boxing match, I love. The holding, the grabbing, and having the referee warning me about everything. It's like, you see so much of that. I got that in the Olympics. I don't want no more of that. So when I see that, I don't like you. Because I don't like that. I like straight up and fair. Be straight up and fair, I mean, let's do it. You're going to be straight up and fair, I don't want to do it. I'd rather go home a loser than to go home a cheating winner. That's my motto.
Listen, if you know Bernard, you know what he's like. You know, I don't take anything away from him in the ring at all. Right? I mean, he's done some incredible things. He finally really fought for once. Which, you know, the way he fights, he wins. And he's, you know, he can bullshit anybody. He can bullshit anybody. He's a master at that. Anyway, getting back to getting back over Bernard Hopkins. Go ahead, next.
Okay, I have a question for Roy. You know, you and James Toney have had similar opponents as of late. You know, he's fought Bobby Gunn. You both fought Denis Lebedev. I noticed, you know, you were talking about rematches with Hopkins and Tarver. So, what about a rematch for James Toney?
Anything that popped in my book is just that with James Toney, when he was at his prime and I was at my prime, I beat the hell out of him so bad that he didn't want the rematch. So to get your rematch back was when it was time to get it. He didn't want it. Hopkins didn't not want it. He didn't want it. He kind of wanted it, but he didn't want it. Then when he got with Dunn, he couldn't get it because of his situation with Dunn King. But I knew he always wanted it. James didn't want it. So if he wants it now, if it's worth it, maybe, but really...
I'm going to jump in. That fight won't draw. I mean, Tony just doesn't draw.
He hasn't done anything.
Yeah, and he doesn't draw people. I mean, he's a talented fighter.
He's going to the UK for a prize fighter. If he wins that, what do you think?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he did win it, if he stopped smoking and drinking long enough. Yes, sir.
So, first of all, big time fan of yours.
Thank you.
I know you've been doing the fight stuff and everything, the commentating.
Right.
You're not fighting as active as you used to fight. And you've done everything, I mean, almost everything you can think of in the fight game.
Right.
I know it's a fighter's spirit to keep you going up. I fight myself, so I can relate to that. What do you want to do? I mean, these couple fights.
All I want to do is win a cruiserweight belt, which WBU would be suffice for me. Win this cruiserweight belt, then, like I said, my thing is, I was a person that, if you want it, come on, I'll give it to you. You feel me? Anderson Silva saying he wants it. He's a legend in the UFC. Just like he's a legend in bare knuckles. Anytime another legend come to me and say, I want it, I ain't that dude that gonna say no. You know, if he's a legend, that means he got fans that want to see it. If Anderson Silva's a legend, he got fans that want to see it. So, what would I be to turn that down? You know, if you look at it, me and you fight, right?
Yeah.
So you think about how bad of a taste it left in our mouth that Floyd Mayweather never fought Manny Pacquiao when he was at the pinnacle. Everybody in the world wanted it. Nobody got it, right? So I never been that dude. I told him when I was in my prime, I used to tell you, call my house, I don't care. We can do it. You feel me? That's just who I always was. So now, I ain't gonna do it for just for anybody, but for a guy that's bare knuckle champ, that's a legend, undefeated bare knuckle champ, somebody Anderson who's a legend in the UFC, anybody like that on that level, I would. And that's what keeps me going. Because those are not necessarily fights, they're events. Things that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. Yeah, you feel me? So that's what makes me, and because I want to fight, of course I would like to go back and come back up through, but I ain't got time for that. I did all that. That means nothing to me. So unless it's an event, it means nothing to me. I wouldn't waste my time.
Are they working off a guarantee or a percentage of the game?
I'm leaving that alone. It's field and
You can't tell.
I would, at this point, no.
So they've signed the contract and they don't know what to get.
Yeah, they know. They all know what to get. All right?
Yes, sir.
Roy, I'm glad I'm going to get the opportunity to go to the Roy Jones fight. Let me say that first.
Thank you.
You've just been an incredible athlete.
Thank you, man.
Period. I mean, it's amazing. I don't really think people understand the magnitude of what you've accomplished. A lot of time we just gloss over it. But I just want to ask you a question going back. It was such an incredible achievement that sometimes I sit there and I go, what's your mindset that made you thought as a middleweight that you could have won the heavyweight championship and you did? What was your mindset? What gave you that thought?
That's a beautiful question. Because the funny thing about it is, we never know what God has in store for us. And that's why you don't listen to what people tell you. But people always tell you, oh, you shouldn't fight no more, you shouldn't do that. Well, if you knew so damn much, you told me to start fighting. You didn't tell me to start, so how you can tell me to stop, you feel me? So as I was fighting, people started saying, well, you got nobody around, no competition. Oh, I got competition. But God put it on my soul, go fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. That night, when I got it, I woke up the next day, made some calls, went to Atlanta, sat down face to face with Evander Holyfield. I want to fight. He said, nah, I don't really want to fight you. I said, why not? He said, well, I beat you, I ain't do nothing. But if you beat me, you did everything. Let me know you think I can kick your ass. So I was cool with that, you feel me? So now I realize the heavyweight champ fears me. So this may be true. So he goes, lo and behold, and loses to General Ruiz. General Ruiz said, I'll fight the little dude. I said, yes, there it is. But it was a calling that God put on my heart. You understand me? I didn't know. I wasn't thinking like that at first. You know, and then in most of my prime, Mike Tyson was heavyweight champ. Well, nobody really raised their hand and jumping that damn line, you feel me? So, but now after I beat Gerald Ruiz, I did try to fight. Because that was the only other fight that made sense to me. That would have been the first fight that we could have charged $100 for pay-per-view. It was was Roy Jones Jr. versus Mike Tyson when I was heavyweight champion of the world. You understand me? That would have been huge. And the only other one we can charge that kind of money for is Roy Jones Jr. versus Floyd Mayweather, because Roy Jones Jr. knows how to whoop that particular style he fights. Roy Jones Jr. is an OG at the game. Roy Jones Jr. did something nobody ever done. He turned pro as a junior middleweight and became heavyweight champion of the world. And that's all by the grace of God, because Roy Jones Jr. didn't know he could do that.
What weight would you come down to fight Floyd?
I couldn't get no lower than 170. If he said no at 170, I don't want to talk about it no more. I can't beg you, I can't, all I can say, but if you want to see a real classical battle, and somebody know what they're doing in front of somebody that know what they're doing, or somebody that know, that think they know what they're doing, yeah, it can happen. Yes, sir.
I wanted to say that I'm honored to be here at this press conference with
Can you speak up?
I'm honored to be here at this press conference with two exceptional, well-conditioned and talented fighters. Roy, I've seen you on TV many times. Bobby, I know you personally from Maryland. I've seen you too on too. But I wanted to not wish you luck for the fight so much as this. The best thing I could wish to both of you is that regardless of the outcome, that you come out as healthy as the day you went in.
Thank you,
that
sir.
nobody gets hurt and everything is good. I see the way you two have interacted with each other, and it's like two guys that are gentlemen friends, knowing that they're going to have to go out there, and a fight is a fight. One's looking to take the other out. But after it's all over, I assume that you guys will get back together and shake each other's hands like the gentlemen that you were with each other today. It's a pleasure to see that. You don't see much of it anymore in these wild news conferences where guys act like they're barbaric. You guys act like you're gentlemen, and I am of the opinion that you're not only great athletes, but great guys.
Thank you, sir. And the best thing about that is we know that there's a time and a place for everything.
Yep.
Understand me? It's a time and a place to be barbaric, and we will be. We have no problem with that. But that won't happen until that time and place occurs.
Don, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How did the Northeast Armory come into play here? Why Philadelphia, and why that location?
Why Philadelphia? Because it was either Atlantic City, or Philly. And incredibly, in the conversation with Roy, he said, fighting in Bernard's backyard, that's interesting. And it just started turning me on. Why the Armory? Because I went to the convention center and it's like $25,000 rent. So forget about that. And the Armory, we can do 3,500 people. And it's going to be packed.
3,500 people?
Well, if Greg Sherb stays out of the way. Go ahead.
Mr. Jones, I got a question for you. I met you in Chicago when you was training before you fought Trinidad. It was a pleasure meeting you then. It's a pleasure talking to you now. How do you feel mentally that people's talking like this is the Apollo Creed Rocky fight in Philly? How have you trained? How have you prepared yourself for that? And how do you feel about that? People saying that?
Well, I feel good about it because Apollo Creed Rocky was a good fight too. But hey, for me, man, I don't listen to what people say. You know what I'm saying? I'm a professional. I didn't get where I got listening to what people say.
You know what? I like to say something too. At the end of that movie, he said, "I just want to say one thing to my wife at home." I did it. My little wife Rose and my little girl Shirley, my boy Bobby, that's my life. And I'm fighting here for my life. My little girl grows up. I don't want her to say, Dad fought, Roy Jones lost. I want them to say Dad won that fight. That's the attitude I'm going in here. And is it going to be a Rocky? It's a Rocky spirit. It is. Everything about it, the mystique of it, the atmosphere, it is. And it's going to be remembered, Sir Jack. I promise you that.
And my daughter said the same thing. My daughter said my daddy beat the hell out of Bobby Gunn.
You better send me a Christmas present, pal. The bean ain't coming for free.
Any other questions?
Quick, I mentioned to you, Don, I'd like to say that every year we do the Fight of the Year, the Briscoe Award for Fight of the Year, named after Benny Briscoe. You guys are familiar, long before Bernard, there was Benny Briscoe and many, many others. And this year, the award's still up for grabs, and it's December. You fight at the Armory. In a sense, that's just something I'll throw out there. It's something that could be for this fight.
I'll tell you, My uncle Scotty Mack was 17-0. Alec Scotty Mack. He boxed Nino Bonavito when the trainer of Emo Griffin, God rest him. He boxed Benny Briscoe. And he knows him personally. You know, years ago in their training. This would be a dream come true. You know, to win that award, to fight for that award. But here's the bottom line. I've been involved in some controversial fights. I've had some hurdles, setbacks. But I'm so glad to be a part of this because this is not going to be no funny business here. And I want to go out with my shield. If I bleed like a stuck pig from ring post, I'm going to fight my heart out. And if that award, I'm looking for it. And my mouth is watering like a wolf right now. I like that award. That sounds like a deal to me.
And both guys get it.
Amen.
If the fight's it, if it's the fight, it's the
What
fight.
about the matchmaker?
Matchmaker? Well, you can get it to him.
Forget it.
There's something you're forgetting though. No one's talking about. I'm the most handsomest cruiserweight in the world.
Whoa, am I just the most handsome fighter in the world?
That was a low blow.
Yeah, real low.
Yeah, but he's got the nice suit jacket on the idol. So
Well, Roy's the second most handsomest. That's not bad.
Any other questions?
Yeah, hey Roy. If you do fight Anderson Silva, is that just strictly going to be a boxing match?
Strictly boxing, man. I ain't got time for no flow, ground out, no.
Anderson Silva wouldn't go 2 rounds this
I
man.
ain't got time for all that on the ground, no wrestling, no biting, no.
Okay. So, okay.
No. Leave that for James Jones. Bone Jones, I mean.
All right. Thank you. I really didn't want to see you in MMA.
No, I don't want to see me in there either.
Any of the writers, TV need one-on-one? Not yet. Anyone else? Yeah.
No, one-on-one.
Oh, listen, I want to thank you all. You know, the date, the 4th of December, is going to be a classic